Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Ask a Muso podcast, brought to you by Yellow Music. I am chatting with some lovely gentlemen across the airwaves today. Upon recommendation, I've heard that these guys are another thing that's just really kicking off the New South Wales music scene. So the three lads from TYRANTS, say good morning, say g'day, and tell us a bit about yourselves.
G'day. I'm Dylan. This is Eden and Bailey. And we're TYRANTS, and we're a alternative rock band from Central Coast, Newcastle area. We love playing music.
Awesome. Well, I think what I'll do is I'll kick off with a question that I asked your mates from Butter Knife a little while ago. What are your sort of thoughts on the music scene in the Central Coast, Newcastle area? What is your experience with that? And maybe give me a bit of an idea about from your perspective.
It's definitely a lot stronger in Newcastle than the Central Coast. Newcastle, the scene is massive. There's so many bands in Newcastle.
Yeah.
And there's so many venues.
I think that's part of why, like the Central Coast definitely has been thriving a lot more since COVID kind of like dwindled a bit, because venues were pushing to open and play more live music, and there's like obviously the scene kind of bloomed everywhere with people playing bands and wanting to get out and get into it a bit more. And it's beautiful to see that the coast is trying very hard, but I think it's subtly kind of died off a little bit, and it's because of not having like many venues, but it's still a lot better than it used to be like pre-COVID. But Newcastle is just like trumps it because there's so many venues and so many bands and like so much going on in that area that it's like the scene's kind of always been thriving and kind of thriving a bit more since COVID kind of happened.
Awesome. Well, it's nice to see that there's some resurgence, and I think there's definitely a lot to answer for regarding if you've got nowhere to play, or not nowhere, but you don't have many places to play, it's pretty hard to sort of get the ball rolling, and especially as a newer band or, you know, a younger band or anything like that. It's like, how can I cut my teeth without places to do such a thing?
Yeah, no, exactly. And it's good because there is like a couple of smaller, very supportive venues like the Lincoln Pin and Mumbo's that always are willing to put on like a new band, like even if they're just like a garage band, it's their first gig, they're always like keen to have anyone on. But it's just like, it's kind of only them two places. Yeah. And then you've got Drifters.
That's more for like bigger acts.
Yeah, it's more for bigger bands. But like we've landed a couple of support gigs there. But it's still really cool that they've like started to do that. But it's just like not many venues and yeah.
Yeah, Mumbo's is really good for that because they do a thing every Wednesday where they'll have like 2 or 3 bands on. And it's every week, and it's always just the local Newcastle, Central Coast, Sydney artists.
And it's kind of like it's kind of grown to a little scene now. Like everyone kind of knows about it, and every time you go there, you see the same kind of people, and you always chat, and like it's a good time, and the room always gets filled, and everyone loves it, and it's crazy that so many people actually go there on a Wednesday night because so many people have work. But it's sick that like they've kind of built this little scene at Mumbo's that is kind of like one of the only. And same with the Lincoln Pin, I suppose, almost has like a little scene going on there with like some people that hang around there often. But yeah, it's cool. It's happening, but it's just not as like rich as the Newcastle kind of scene goes.
Yeah, I like that you said about the Wednesday thing. We have that at Institution up here on the sunny coast, Soul Bar. The Wednesday open mics are like an institutionalized thing. Like they are always full. It's always like it's a mixture of people who are doing it for the first time. They're trying that new cover that they hadn't played in front of an audience yet, all the way to bands that essentially are auditioning to play the stage for their own show, you know? So like, it's a full range, and Wednesdays go off, you know? It's cheap pizza night, and they, since the cough, they actually brought out a more consistent back room scene. So Soul Bar's design is that there's a front space with a front bar and a stage, about as big as the room I'm in. And then that was 3 out of 4 weeks on a Wednesday that was our open mic, and a little bit of tinker on the drums, but nothing major. It was predominantly a couple or 3 of you with some guitars and having a sing, and then they do the big one in the back room on the big stage with the full PA and all the business, and then for whatever reason after the cough they pretty much just started doing it out the back almost exclusively. So they have a couple out the front, and due to someone doing sound, or there isn't someone doing sound or whatever. But I think it's really enriched things more, and a lot of people that were a bit nervous to get out in front of people, they've now had that opportunity more than once. And I can think of lots of times I've come up and going, what am I doing Wednesday? Nothing. I might just pop in and just see what happens, see what's going on. And then I find, oh my God, I haven't seen you in ages. And gee, when was the last time we played together? We should put our names in the hat. We should put our names in the hat just for a bit of a laugh. And then, guess what? It went well. And then we start playing. And you have to line up right as it comes out because it's so popular. And that's a Wednesday night. And so I love that there are people that are giving anyone a chance near you guys during the middle of the week.
Yeah, no, it's awesome to give like young bands and anyone kind of that opportunity while still like creating a pretty cool scene that's kind of a little community.
Absolutely. Well, for you 3 blokes, how did you guys all meet, and how did everything sort of kick off?
Oh, we met in high school.
Yeah, I think it was like year 10. We eventually started becoming mates. We kind of
and
really
just
close mates.
And I was in a band, and
they're already charging out.
we were always like already playing gigs. It was just like a 2-piece.
Mm-hmm.
And then we decided that we wanted to bring Bailey on board.
I hadn't picked up a guitar until like year 10 when
he'd only kind of just started playing guitar, and I kind of encouraged him to play more, and then he got heaps better, and he'd like randomly practice with us, and because he was really close with the drummer that was in the band, and we become really good mates, and he slowly got better and then joined the band, and then that morphed into a new band with a new drummer.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went on for a while with no bass player because I had like a almost reversed Royal Blood setup.
Okay.
With our guitars, that was like, it's dropped it an octave and split the signal, and it went into a bass amp.
Mm-hmm.
But then we both played through it, and we had like a splitter, so sometimes he would play the bass, sometimes I would play the bass part. So it was pretty cool, and then we kind of got sick of it. I become pretty good mates with Eden at, we were studying at the Grove Studios together.
Okay.
Doing a diploma of music sound engineering.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I think
we had already met through like other bands. Like I was in other bands, and we would go to the same gigs sometimes. And also I feel like the first time we kind of I guess talked and became friends was TYRANTS, when I wasn't in the band, got my old band to support.
Okay,
that's right. Yeah, we played like a launch show or something together, and then we just become really close mates because we were studying and just going to shows together, and then we kind of needed a bass player, and Aiden joined the band, and here we are.
Yeah, neat. Well, it's interesting you actually say about your reverse Royal Blood thing. I play in a band called Band from the Club, and it's a similar thing. It's guitar and bass and drums, and we all sing, but the drums, the bass goes through a bass amp, but also has we run a combo that actually sends bass from both of them, and all the solos and all the high bits, all the lead riffs are all done on the bass.
Oh, cool.
And then during those sections, Ian will play rhythm, but with bass as well.
Oh, sick.
So it's a sick setup. The biggest thing I learned when I was studying at uni was that there's not just like a factory setting way of doing things. It's not like, we only have this many instruments, this is our ceiling.
Yeah, no,
is exactly what it is. It's your imagination.
it's a blank canvas. Like, just do whatever you want with it, and there's no harm in trying things and it going wrong, because that's art. You kind of just give it a go, and whatever happens, happens. And sometimes you stumble upon like really cool, happy accidents or little creative ideas that are just spare of the moment, or you're just trying at practice that you end up using forever. It's a beautiful thing to be able to play music and be so expressive and do what you want, and no one's kind of telling you you're doing the wrong thing, because there is no wrong or right thing.
No.
It's like it's your own kind of beautiful expression.
You were saying, Bailey, that you had like year 10, you started like going, oh, I better get serious about guitar, basically. But like, how did you guys all get into music yourselves? You'd always been playing instruments, or you were just around people, or it just seemed like the thing to do?
I started playing guitar when I was 8, and I don't know, just something clicked in me one day, and I just decided that I just wanted to play guitar, and had this just dream of me playing in a band and making music. And ever since, I've just been like, it's just been my life, and everything that I love doing, it just kind of will revolve around music. But yeah,
I think I was in like maybe it was even like year 11. I think that's when I started. And I didn't even pick up a guitar at first. It was a ukulele, and I bought a ukulele.
Oh, good. All the best stories start with that.
on like I think it was like, you know, I used to have half days in high school.
Yep.
And we went to Tuggerah and mucked around. I was like, oh, ukulele, I'm just going to buy it. And all my friends looked at me like, oh, you're a bloody idiot. What's this? Took it home, mum and dad, you're a bloody idiot. Like, yeah, good luck. And then I started like playing, and then like, obviously it's ukulele, you're limited to 4 strings, and there's only a certain amount of things you can play.
Riptide.
And obviously, yeah, Riptide, one of them. I think I even learned Sweet Child of Mine. I used to play like 100 mile an hour on the ukulele. And then it kind of got to a point.
What a prodigy.
Yeah, and then I got to a point I was like, well, all of the songs, and I started listen to music, and the music scene that I kind of was brought into was like all like alternative rock and like just Triple J stuff, like Hockey Dad and June Rats and bands like that. And then eventually, same type of thing, on the same type of half day, bought an acoustic guitar, and that acoustic guitar was like, that was hard. It was really hard. I was like, Jesus, it's a box of frogs. And then there was this one song, I think it was Castle on the Hill by Ed Sheeran, and I was like, I'm just going to learn this. I think it took me like two weeks, and I learned it, and then learn all the chord shapes, and then that's when I started like hanging out with Dylan heaps more, and our other mate, and like picked up an electric guitar. I was like, oh, and I'm there playing open chords on it. I'm like, oh, this is ridiculous. And then it was like opened up a whole new world to me. So it's really cool.
Absolutely, yeah. That's crazy. The joy story from going from ukulele to playing electric guitar. Thank you for taking us all through that. That was beautiful.
Bit of an origin story.
And how did you start?
I started when I was in year 10, so like 2016. My mum's boyfriend at the time bought me a acoustic guitar, and it was just a cheapo. I still have it. But yeah, I just started playing guitar, and a couple of my friends were musical in high school, and then we started playing. We would actually get taken out of class so we could like practice our instruments. So every Monday and Tuesday we'd get the second half of the day just to play. Once school finished, I started in a band, and started playing bass more as well. That was my main instrument for a while, and then I switched over to guitar again, and now I'm in TYRANTS, back on bass.
What actually is the name? What actually is TYRANTS?
Oh, it took a long time to decide on a band name, and
we weren't really 100%.
We were never
even when we finally clicked the button and said that's it.
Yeah, no one was really like ever 100% on it, but I think it's grown on everyone a bit, and like a tyrant is like
an overthrower.
Yeah, like a really
bad person.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So we are all shit blokes, and we thought Tyrants was a great name. Really encompasses it.
But I feel like it's got this cool kind of overtone about it. It's, I don't know, kind of.
I feel like it kind of contradicts the style of music we play as well. Like when you think of Tyrants, you think of maybe it's like some sort of like
Heavy metal
band or something. But then Dylan brings out his bloody vocal cords and he's singing a nice song.
happy songs.
Yeah, happy songs. And
Bailey's cranking out a ukulele solo. You guys are just one thing to the other. It's nothing like Tyrants what you'd expect.
Once you've established yourself enough and people know what your music sounds like and know who you are, the name kind of grows more attachment to the music and like the band itself, rather than it being like two separate things when people go, oh, the name sounds nothing like that. But I feel like it associates a lot better once you've played plenty of shows and like released some music and whatnot.
Yeah,
I don't
think people really associate names. Like when you think of big bands like Foo Fighters, like
or the
Beatles.
Beatles.
You sit there and think about that name for so long, you're like, oh, that makes no sense. You kind of just, your brain just correlates it to the music, and it's just not even a second thought really once you know the name and the music they play.
It sort of takes it to like being like you become like the iPod of music. It's not an MP3 player anymore, it's an iPod.
So true.
I just wanted to say as well, we get called the Tyrants a lot. And but I just like want to put it out there. It's just Tyrants, because I feel like if it's the Tyrants, then it's kind of implying
wrong.
It's implying that we think we're tyrants instead of just stating tyrants.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. I was chatting to a band back in like season 1 of the pod, and they're called Barefoot Spacemen, and they would be called Barefoot Spacemen, Bare Feet Spacemen. And they're like, man, I don't know how much more simple we can make it. Like, it's written down, man. I don't really know what else I can give you. And they're like, yeah, Barefoot Spacemen. I was like, yep, that's not our name. That's close, but it's not our name. There's far too many letters in there. So no, that's fine. There's no the. It's just Tyrants.
Yeah, I hope everyone hears that.
Yeah.
Loud and clear. It's the only part of the episode I'm going to make. I'll clip it, guys, because the only part, it's the most important part of the episode. It's just, this is what we're definitely called.
Awesome.
Well, tell me about the new single. Tell me about Swing. What's that about, and how did that come to be? And yeah, give me a bit of a rundown on the song.
So Swing started as like a little riff that we were jamming for ages, and was just this fun little thing that we just, I don't know, it was just fun to play and sounded awesome, and we were just always bringing it up in jams, and like I usually do, is most of my songs are like an inner monologue of how I'm feeling or what's going on in my life, and I felt the need to like put that riff with an important message to myself: swing forward life, stay optimized, cling to the thought, stay satisfied. Pretty much all the lyrics in the whole song are like just a little message to myself to stay strong and push forward, or continue on and enjoy life, and don't stress too much about how long the journey's going to take, but yeah, enjoy it.
I think it's a bit more of a rare theme nowadays, but I think it's a nice theme to just have a song that's sort of about optimism. Like I'm working on something with the Justice Trio right now, and yeah, we got a song. We one song called All in Good Time, and one song called Make It Through, and it's essentially like, it doesn't matter, you'll make it through. Like everything you need is here within you. You'll make it through, and I think that's it's a nice message in a song, regardless of necessarily how the song sounds. I think it's a nice message to have in music. Nowadays, I think it's nice. We've got 437 million love songs. I think it's nice to have something that's about something different, I guess.
Yeah, no, for sure.
People relate to it as well.
Yeah,
which is good.
Yeah, no, I feel like it is a very relatable topic, because everyone's got something that they're kind of striving for or they want out of life, and I feel like people need to hear like just take the time and let things grow, and yeah, it'll all work out.
Absolutely. So what's your process when you guys write? Do you guys write together? Are you coming with, like, as you said, like your inner monologue ideas, and then you're putting instrumentation to it? Like, what's sort of the process there?
Yeah, well, it's mainly I do most of the writing, and I'll kind of write like a riff or a nice hook that I like, and I'll kind of sculpt everything around like a main idea that is stuck in my head, and then once it's like 80 to 90% complete, I'll bring it in the room and we'll like talk about how we want to structure it, and usually end up like cutting bits out, or the boys sometimes have other ideas for throwing certain sections in, or that kind of deal. So
What are the goals for you guys, near and far, coming up? Like, what's in the works? What are you guys working towards?
We're working towards an EP. That's the main goal of this year.
yeah,
And then a big tour to complement it.
I think that's mainly the thing that we're striving for. And I don't really have any other kind of goals for us this year. I just want to put out some really nice music and art and play some fun shows like all over the country.
How's the furthest north or south you guys have been?
Brisbane.
Okay, yep.
Gone the other way.
That's south.
Okay, yeah, sweet. Okay, so you got to get yourselves up to the sunny coast then this calendar year.
Sure.
Yeah, sick. So with your own sort of music scene, your own sort of music community, who are your sort of favorite bands that you're loving, either being a support with or just love being around? Like, who are the bands for you that you're a big fan of yourselves nowadays?
In our own kind of music scene, like the Newcastle. Oh well, obviously, Lost Plaza is one, and well, we just played our single launch for Swing, and we had Lost Plaza, and we had Bud Knife. So those guys are all great, and we also had Michaela. She's awesome as well. But a lot of the time we're always hanging out with Zane from Lost Plaza. The guys from Dead Shows.
Yeah, Dead Shows are great too.
Are like great mates of ours, and we love to hang around them, and we always have good chats. And but yeah, probably Lost Plaza and Dead Shows are the two like closest mates of ours that we're always playing shows with like consistently through most of the years that the band's been a thing.
We definitely played with them.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's neat to have someone that you can rely on, someone that's just like, for me, when I play with either Delacoma or with the Justice Trio, our mates at Chamberlain are always front and center whenever we want to do something, put something together, and the inverse is true as well whenever they want to do something. And it's nice to have someone that like is a great hang, but is also super solid as a muso or musos as a band. But you can have a hang, and also you can be like, yeah, we should put a bill together and have a good night of it.
Yeah, it's great when you have mates like that, like you said, can play well, you get along with, and you know that you can rely on them when you want to put a good lineup together and like play a cool show, and they're gonna like bring a good energy.
Absolutely. And I think that's super important. I like, for instance, when I was playing with Sailing in Space, which is literally like, it's a mixture of like punk and synth pop beats, and like there's a lot of tracks and all this stuff, and I put them together with like Chamberlain, this punk band, and because the energy was the same and the gusto was the same, and we're all engaging with the crowd, it just works. Like, we don't even have a guitar in Sailing in Space. It's just bass, drums, vocals, and tracks. And then we got this like standard punk rock band, but together worked fine because the energy and all that stuff was matched. So I get that. Energy is super important.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So what advice would you guys have for any sort of upcoming bands that are coming into the scene now to, I don't know, to maybe get started, or to, some words of wisdom?
Don't stop playing gigs, just keep playing.
And go to gigs.
Yeah, go to gigs.
Yes.
Meet as many people as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just be positive and nice and willing to say hello to anyone.
Yeah. Put yourself out there a bit.
Yeah, put yourself out. And ask like anyone like, don't be afraid to ask about like whether another bigger band would like want to support you on your show or like vice versa. Like, don't be afraid to talk to other bands and keep practicing is my main one. Practice. Like, if I could, I would practice with these guys every afternoon. Sometimes like life obviously gets in the way and it's hard to, but we've tried for ages to make a ritual to play like together once a week.
Yep.
And just be consistent and I don't know, network, practice.
I feel like probably like a good 30% of our gigs and the people we meet come from us just going to gigs or talking to people at gigs, even if it's our show. Like, a lot of our gigs and opportunities come from that. Just talking to people, because you never know who's going to be at this gig.
And like they say, it's all about who you know.
Yeah. And also, you got to be in it to win it. It's not just about asking for support slots. It's about being present. It's about being about and just being there. And also, if you really love the live music scene and you really want to be a part of it, why wouldn't you want to go to the shows? Why wouldn't you want to be about and go to stuff?
No, for sure. And we love going to shows, and anytime we have spare time, we're always like, whether it's a big show or like local shows, like we're always trying to get out there when we have time. And because we love music.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, that's a nice way to end it, lads. I'd love to know, where can the people find you? Where can the people find your music? Drop the socials. Hit it up.
On Spotify, Instagram, Facebook.
The Spotify is Tyrants, all capitals.
Yeah, Tyrants, all capitals. And you'll find our Instagram name is This Is Tyrants. And on Facebook, we're Tyrants, all capitals. Yeah. And we also have a YouTube page with our with a couple of things on that. And we got like a lyric video for Clouds and a music video for Step Back. But we've got plenty of cool things coming out this year, so stay tuned for new music, and should be fun.
Awesome. Very exciting. I've been listening to Swing through the Office tunes, which I control at work. So it gets a bit of playtime, gets a bit of rotation. I pretty much just play local band music and songs that I need to like go over for like future gigs or something. That's pretty much just what it is on repeat at work. So it's just local bands, mates of mine, and stuff I have to practice on repeat. So you'll have everything from like John Mellencamp to you guys. So it's good. So I've been giving Swing a bit of rotation, and I look forward to hearing what you guys have got coming up next and what the rest of the year holds.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
A pleasure, guys. Well, that's another episode of the Ask Muso podcast. Lovely to chat with these three gentlemen and just learn a little bit more about their music scene, but also their music. And they made some good points about not continuing to play ukulele and other stuff about practicing and all those business things. But you know where to find all these episodes: Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Do the do. And until next time, I'll see you later.